Hi everyone, I'm very sorry to be gone today. However, as it turns out, I have been abducted by aliens. See? Very scary. I can't come to school like this, so you better pay attention. This is as good as it gets today. Say bye to scary Miss Thompson. Bye. Okay, to review from Friday. Last Friday we stopped by doing a sample note card, and you have this in your packet. If your packet isn't out, take it out right now. Okay, so just a reminder, when you're doing a note card, it needs page number, source number, initials, and FAT question number. Every single note card, okay? I want to start off by giving you some pointers today for your research time. If you don't think you're going to remember these things, it would be a wonderful idea to write them down. Okay, so here is my searching 101 techniques, okay? And I'm going to go back and forth between my PowerPoint and the website so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So be patient with me. All right, the first thing when you're searching in the library is you need to find a book, one book. So you want to use the card catalog that is in the library to find books in our library. Now, I'm hoping you know how to use the card catalog, but just in case, let me show you. Pull it up here. You want to go to our school homepage, which should come up right away. Go to Schools, Middle School, Media Center. There it is. There's our friend the Media Center. They have their own little link for the middle school. And you're going to come to this page and it's going to say Card Catalog. Yay, Card Catalog. Click there. And then you're going to have the option of picking from school or remote login. Now, I'm at my house. Well, I mean, I'm on an alien spaceship. So I would do remote login. You click from school. I'm not going to do it right now because my computer is being really slow and not working. So you click here. It's going to bring you to the card catalog, and that will help you find books. Please, please, please keep in mind, when you find a book, you do not check it out. You bring it to the cart that the substitute will have. You leave it on the cart because other students might be looking for that same book. So we're going to keep them all in the library. Okay, but you still want to find one, so that's how you would do it. Okie dokie. So that's tip number 1. Use the card catalog to find your book. Okay, second thing. You want to use smart search terms. You do not, I repeat, do not want to type in your whole question, okay? You want to do things like, let's find my Google. If I'm doing the civil rights movement, for example, I have 3 FAT questions. One is about how it starts, one is about what happened, one is about the leaders. I want to be specific in how I search. I don't want to just type in civil rights movement. I'm going to have too much stuff to look through. Use your questions. So I might do civil rights leaders, okay? And that's going to narrow things down for me. I'm going to get websites that are just about the leaders, the different people involved in it, okay? So I will already have pared down a lot of information. Okay, so please use smart search terms. Do not type in your whole question. Thank you. Okay, next. We're going to use the card catalog to find books. We're going to use smart search terms. And finally, you want to avoid using .coms. Use them very sparingly. Look for .orgs, .edus. That sort of thing, and use Wikipedia only as a starting point. So let me show you what I mean by that. Using Wikipedia only as a starting point means if I go to Wikipedia, here I am, and I type in civil rights movement, because that's what I'm looking for, and that's not a very good search term, I know, but just go with me. I go to civil rights movement, I click enter. I'm going to notice this exclamation mark telling me that the article has multiple issues. Yikes. I don't want to use this. This isn't credible. But what you can do is you can do this thing. Scroll, 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 scroll. At the bottom of every Wikipedia entry, it has notes and it has further reading and it has external links. These links are going to be more useful to you and probably more credible. So I might do Martin Luther King. This looks good. I'm going to click on that. And it's going to come up. There it is. And it's got just a whole bunch of stuff. And this is, you notice, a .edu, Stanford nonetheless. So it's going to be more reliable. I can search by topic. It's a whole encyclopedia. So this is better than Wikipedia, but I used Wikipedia to get there. Okay, so that's a really good technique to use as well. All right. So those are my searching tips, okay, for once you get in there. Don't ignore me, okay? Do it that way. Next, we already went over how to take notes, so let me just flip through this real quick. So let's pretend you just found a bunch of good stuff. Now you have to sit down and read it, right? You're looking for answers to your questions and you're highlighting when you find good stuff. Then you're going to cover up what you read and put it in your own words, or use a direct quotation if you want to. So we talked about that on Friday. Now I want to show you what it actually looks like. So from this website, I'll show you real quick so you don't think I'm making this up. I found this website. It's a civil rights leaders website. That's what I was looking for. So I found this article about a guy named Medgar Evers, and I thought, okay, he sounds like an interesting guy. I'm going to put him in my paper. So they have Medgar Evers' whole life on this website, and I need to pick out the stuff I need. Okay, so let me show you how I would do that. This is the first bit of information that it gives me, and I'm not going to read it all, but basically it talks about where he was born and where he went to school. And then it talks about how he worked for the NAACP and he went to World War II. I mean, it's got a ton of information in it. So I need to decide what information helps me answer my question. And my question is, who were some of the important civil rights leaders? Now, if Medgar Evers was an important leader, I want to put information in there about him that's useful and that relates to him as an actual leader during the civil rights movement. I don't need every detail of his life. So I'm just going to highlight the stuff that I think I need, not everything. So I might highlight this. It's probably important to say when he was born, okay, so I know about how old he was. I think it's important that he was in the Army during World War II. That's kind of significant. I'm going to skip about who he married. I don't know if I need that. But one thing that's important is that he began local chapters of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. So, oh, here's my pencil. So I think, well, that has to do with civil rights. Yay! I'm going to use that. Okay, so all of this I think is probably about enough for my brain. I'm going to stop there and do my note card. Okay, now, do not plagiarize. Are you scared? Don't plagiarize. Okay, thank you. So I would turn this, don't plagiarize, into a note card that looks like this. You don't need to write this down. I'm just going to show you. This is how I have everything on there. And then I say this. Medgar Evers was born in Mississippi in 1925. He fought in World War II, and then after he returned, he began starting chapters of the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. I had to write that down because I didn't think I'd remember what it meant, so I wrote it all down. But, you know, that's up to you. So this is my note card. Notice the amount of information on there. It's not a ton of stuff, okay? It's just enough, one thought, okay? Everything that I can keep in my brain. I'll show you another example. So this is from the same section, but I decided that there's more in here that I like. I also think it's important that before the movement even started, he was starting boycotts. Ooh, boycotts. That sounds like something a civil rights leader would do. So I'm going to highlight it. That's what the yellow is. It's highlighted. And now I'm going to put it on a note card. Seriously, don't plagiarize. I mean it. Don't you do it. I might say this. ME, notice the abbreviation? I can abbreviate because I'm going to remember who this guy is, all right? You can do whatever you need to do for your note cards, but you need to be able to understand them. So I wrote, ME also organized boycotts of gas stations that wouldn't serve colored people. He started these boycotts even before segregation became illegal in 1954. So that's showing that he was active even before things really got going. So that's an important note, and I emphasize that on my note card. Okay? Okay, enough talking. I hope you've been listening because now it's your turn to practice. We're going to pause the screencast and you're going to practice by yourself. Okay? What I want you to do is I want you to go to your packet and look at the very last page. I'll show you what I mean. Very last page in your packet looks like this. Here's your packet, page 2, page 3, page 4. Aha! Page 4 in your packet looks like this, and it's from that website I showed you. So this is all about Medgar Evers, okay? I would like you to read this article, and I want you to make 2. It says 3, but I want 2 sample note cards. Now, where do you suppose you are going to make those sample note cards? Where? That's right, in your packet. So again, see your packet? These 2 note cards should still be blank. I want these to be your practice note cards. So do 2 of them. And I want you to do cards that answer the question, who were some of the leaders of the movement and what did they accomplish for the movement? So highlight information that you feel answers that question. So your substitute, I'm sorry, I don't know who the substitute is. Hi, substitute. Your substitute is going to pause the screencast now. I'm going away. I want you to make 2 sample cards. That means do the highlighting, write down 2 notes, and see how you do. Okay? Pause. Work for, let's say, 7 to 10 minutes. And then you'll compare answers. But before then, everyone's sitting in their desks, working by themselves. Raise your hand if you have questions. All right, see you in 7 minutes. Okay. So it's been about 7 or 10 minutes and you should all have 2 sample cards. Now I want you to find another person, maybe 2 other people, and I want you to read your notes to the other person. Now you're going to find that you wrote different notes and that's okay, but what I want you to listen for is this. If you catch one of your classmates plagiarizing, meaning they stole a phrase or they stole a whole sentence, you need to call them on it. You need to tell them, hey, you are a stinking copycat and Miss Thompson doesn't want any word vomit, okay? You need to call your partner on it because I'm not there. You got to help each other, okay? Do that now. Pause the screencast. Okay, so today in the library, I need you to find 2 online sources. I need you to not print sources if they're too long. Please, 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 check the length of your sources. Anything longer than 7 pages, you're going to need to edit down. You shouldn't be printing any more than 7 pages. Copy and paste it if you need to. You need to find 1 book. Do not take the book with you. If you can't find a book, that means someone else has probably already found it. You want to check the cart for it. And then if you find all your sources, go ahead and start taking notes today. What is due at the end of the hour that the sub will be checking for your grade? You need to have 3 source cards done, and you need to have your 3 sources printed and then 1 on the cart. All right, good luck everybody. Help each other out. Be good. Bye.